Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another Inspire Echo. We'll get started with today's session. I'm Dr. Carolyn Chang. I work at Texas State University, and I serve as director of our Department of Education Title III and Title V programs in academic services. And I am also a faculty fellow with the Translational Health Research Center, working with the STEM and healthcare workforce area of focus. And I'm honored to be facilitating the Inspire Echo series and working alongside Dr. Steve Witten in this area of focus. We are so glad that you have joined us for session 2 of this series, Industry Synced Pathways for Innovation, Research, and Employment. This series is designed to explore how higher education can work hand in hand with industry partners to strengthen student training programs, drive innovation, and align with workforce needs. Each session showcases programs and leaders who are making this work a reality on the ground. In today's session, Building Bridges Industry Partnerships, we will focus on partnerships that connect student training with the evolving needs of industry. We'll be hearing directly from folks who are actively building these bridges, leading initiatives that bring together higher education and industry to develop career-ready students and support innovation across sectors. Today, I'm really excited to welcome our panelist. We have Antonio Cordova, Regional Director at Nucleate, Texas, a nonprofit organization empowering early-stage bio-entrepreneurs. We have Nancy Lyon, Director of the Bioscience Incubator at Austin Community College, which supports life science innovation while training workforce-ready students in state-of-the-art lab spaces. We also have Dr. Ryan Penlerick, Professor of Practice and Program Director of the Concrete Industry Management Program here in the Department of Engineering Technology at Texas State University, which is a model program for aligning academic training with industry needs in the construction sector. We also are joined by Dr. Baley Reeves, Director of the National Center for Therapeutics Manufacturing at Texas A&M University, which delivers cutting-edge workforce education in biopharmaceutical and vaccine manufacturing. Thank you, panelists and audience, for joining us, and I'm really looking forward to engaging in a rich conversation. We welcome questions and insights as we learn from our panelists and their experiences. And so we'll start off with round one, where we're going to get a brief overview of programs. And so, panelists, please briefly describe your program and its main goals and how your program serves to bridge students to industry. And we'll start with Antonio.
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me today. Really excited to get to chat with everybody. Like said, my name is Antonio Cordova. I'm the Regional Managing Director of Operations for Nucleate, Texas. I'm also a fifth-year graduate student at the University of Texas at Austin in the biochemistry department, coming soon to a close here, which is very exciting. Nucleate overall is a global 501c3 organization. We're dedicated to helping graduate students transition technology and IP from ideation to commercialization at universities. We run several different programs, but our flagship program is the Nucleate Activator program. It's essentially an equity-free, IP-free accelerator for early-stage graduate entrepreneurs in university ecosystems. We facilitate scientific and business connections for all of our founders, connecting them with other graduate level students for practical business management and business development expertise. And then we connect them with external industry subject matter experts and mentors that guide them along their tech development journey. External to our flagship program, we also offer exclusive industry fellowships and internships for Nucleate leadership team members and folks that participate in the Activator program. I myself was actually a part of the recent Genentech Business Development Fellowship through Nucleate. We also offer several different wonderful programs with folks like Flagship Pioneering, Amgen, Alnylam Pharmaceuticals, Eli Lilly, so on and so forth. We're very graciously sponsored by a large majority of Fortune 500 pharmaceutical companies here in the United States. And a lot of them are constantly looking to us to provide them with talent as they transition towards industry after their graduate education. All in all, we're basically a one-stop shop for graduate students that are looking for opportunities to transition to life science industry and away from academia, both in the practical matter of transitioning their technology, but also finding those connections and networking in order to take that next leap in their career.
Thank you. We'll move to Nancy.
Hello. I'm Nancy Lyon. I am the director of the Bioscience Incubator at Austin Community College. And most people don't know that a community college has a bioscience incubator. But not unlike Star Park's facility at Texas State, it is leasable lab space, leasable lab space for biotech startups. And so we kind of use the analogy of a group house. When you first move out of your parents' house and you want to live on your own, but you don't really have more than a bed, you can move into a group house that has all the other stuff. So we have outfitted this incubator with close to $2 million worth of high-end high-end lab equipment and instrumentation. And startups in the life science space, and they don't have to be Austin Community College related. Actually, so far we've had 0 Austin Community College related startups, but they can come in and rent as little as 1 workspace in a shared room, and then they get access to all of the equipment that we have outfitted the facility with. And the intention is that the life sciences industry in Central Texas is very nascent. And if you want it to grow, you have to give it a place for people to start. The basic infrastructure needs for a startup in life sciences is outrageous. Building one of these facilities, the building, the power, the water, the regulations, all of the things is cost prohibitive, especially if you have not yet established that your idea is a good idea. So by being at the Bioscience Incubator, they can lease 1 space, they can make sure it's a good idea. And then the perfect transition kind of space is Star Park. But we are still at a community college, right? So we're into workforce. And what the students get in their classes, which is very robust, they don't know how it applies in industry. So by being this kind of middle of the road transition from academia through us to industry and get a glimpse as to how those skills that they're learning in their curriculum are actually used in industry. We hire student interns and we have, lunch and learns and Antonio's kind of things to try to expose them to that. And that's our role.
Thank you. Dr. Penlerick?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Ryan Penlerick. I am the program director and a professor of practice in the concrete industry management program here at Texas State. So just a little brief history of this program. These 5 CIM programs around the country came around in the late 1990s, actually started at Middle Tennessee State University. And this was birthed from a lot of concrete companies were merging, and we're actually in a period of consolidation right now. And these mom and pop companies, as they were selling and consolidating, they were looking for future leaders of their businesses. And what they found was hiring business students, they lacked the technical knowledge and the science behind concrete. Construction management type graduates too lacked the material science piece. So they said, we can't really find the type of person, of graduate we want. So we will create our own program. So this program, for lack of a better term, is essentially licensed by a national steering committee to 5 universities in the country, Texas State being one of those. And it's a very, very industry forward. We work a lot with our industry educational committees, and we're very agile in developing curriculum. So it is a Bachelor of Science degree program, 4-year degree here at Texas State University. We've got about 160 students in the program now, with views on going to 400 or 500 students to meet the demand of the industry. If you travel up and down I-35 here in the Central Texas area, you'll see all kinds of cement plants, aggregate plants, concrete plants. We are the home. We are the largest producer and consumer of concrete products in the country, by far and away double the next 2 states combined. So it's an incredible opportunity, a great degree program, very industry focused, industry forward.
Thank you. And Dr. Reeves?
Hey everyone, thanks so much for the opportunity to share a little bit about what we're doing at the National Center for Therapeutics Manufacturing. A little bit about us. NCTM was founded in 2010 with seed money from BARDA, which is the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, which is part of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. They founded our center specifically to serve as a workforce development organization to rapidly respond to pandemics. And so we were actually called upon during Operation Warp Speed in order to help produce the workforce needed to make all of those COVID vaccine candidates. So we operate a $70 million simulated cGMP facility equipped with over $20 million of industry standard equipment that we use for training and development courses, as well as for contract research projects for academics or startup companies. And sorry, my lights just turned off. They're on a motion activator here. Hopefully they'll turn on in a bit soon. So we can run contract research projects as well as training courses, and we have a lot of equipment and expertise here at NCTM. In terms of the workflows that we cover, we do a lot within the realm of kind of the biomanufacturing industry. We can do a lot with recombinant proteins. We do viral vectors for cell and gene therapy, and our newest addition is our mRNA therapeutics and vaccines workflow. On our training side, a lot of our training curriculum was designed by industry for industry. So we really emphasize that hands-on practical learning over teaching more, I guess you could call them theoretical concepts. The training span the gamut from entry-level technicians who don't need a college degree to deep dives into process optimization on specific topics for experienced industry professionals. We run all of our trainings in really small cohorts. So we have groups of a max of 10 to 12 participants per course. And we also run a lot of duplicative equipment. And so each participant really has a hands-on opportunity to run the equipment, push the buttons, open the valves. We do this intentionally so that all of the participants get a chance to really run the equipment as opposed to anything turning into a demonstration where they're just observing someone else running the equipment. In addition, we run all of our courses with real process streams. So for example, if we're teaching fermentation, the students are running real bioreactors with actual cells in it. For purification, we're running real lysate or process streams so that we can really talk about how the unit operations work, what we should expect to see, and then if anything, arises, we can troubleshoot on the fly. So ultimately for our program, we want to make sure that the skills and the knowledge that participants get from going to the trainings here at NCTM are directly relevant to their future jobs or their current jobs in industry. So it's kind of a labor-intensive way to run trainings, but we feel like the benefits to the participants are really unparalleled.
Thank you. We will go to our next round of prepared questions. And so for this second round, we're going to go back to Antonio to start us off. And I'm going to ask, what specific skills, knowledge, or experiences do students gain through your program that prepare them for their future career goals?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I mentioned previously, we have several opportunities for individuals participating both in our programs and on our leadership team to get involved with our industry partners and gain knowledge from our flagship programming. So on the industry partner side, like I mentioned, we have several different industry partners that you can find on our website, which Shelby will share with you guys. Many of them offer exclusive industry fellowships or internships for members of our student community, both on the scientific and on the business side. So like I mentioned, I got to participate in the Genentech Business Development Fellowship. We have scientific and manufacturing fellowships as well, allowing people to really take advantage of our network and access maybe these more exclusive, difficult to find opportunities and internships in the life science industry at large. Regarding our own programming, every year we have somewhere between 18 and 24 student founders across Texas that are looking for other graduate student level or even undergraduate level partners to help them work on their business plan, the technology development, other strategies. And our accelerator program essentially provides workshops on interpreting and understanding things like scientific and market risk, strategic fundraising, how you navigate regulatory and IP landscape, et cetera. Right. So ultimately, all these workshops are meant to provide that practical experience in the life science industry from several different verticals, right? Depending on what you're interested in, whether it's the legal side, the scientific side, the BD side, all of it is all cumulative, right? All of this work ultimately culminates in our annual Nucleate Texas Demo Day, which Shelby will also share some information on as well. It's a day-long experience for students that are participating in the program and the biotech ecosystem at large to come and be a part of what we're building. We have the top teams in our program pitch for non-dilutive funding from our industry partners. We cater lunch and we provide a networking happy hour for students and other folks in industries to connect across Texas. The event this year will be on May 30th in San Antonio. We would love to see many of y'all there. We know Texas State will be sending a wonderful presence, and we're very excited for people to continue to see the work that we're doing. Nucleate Texas has only been around now for about 4 years, and we have outpaced the Bay Area and Boston in both funding and attendance at the majority of our events. So to say Texas is killing it in the life science ecosystem is an understatement. I'm sure Nancy can agree. So.
Thank you, Antonio. And we'll move right into Nancy.
Thank you. So the Bioscience Incubator calls itself an incubator, and by definition, an incubator is generally has a fund to invest in startups and takes equity in these startups as sort of a payback to that. We're the community college version of that, and so we don't have a fund. We have $2 million worth of equipment. And our equity ask is actually an education agreement that we have formally in the contract. It's by design pretty loosey-goosey, and it's basically gives something back to the college. And I know that Texas State and Star Park has a similar one. I think theirs is a little more stringent, but the point is to, ideally hire students, right? So if you have these startups that need extra help, having biotech students, ACC has a biotech program that has cell culture class, biomanufacturing class. And so if you can hire these students to help in these startups, they're getting that industry experience. But then we also hire ACC students to run the facility. And so we have 2 to 5 ACC students every semester. They do all the maintenance, calibration, troubleshooting, inventory, everything to run the lab. My staff is me and the gentleman in this picture. And they sit and hang out with the startups. They learn how to maintain all this equipment that they've learned about in their classes. And we also spend a lot of time kind of noticing that they're gravitating toward a certain piece of equipment, or they're asking a lot of questions about a certain thing. And we create projects, kind of like Baley was just describing, of like having real world applications of these things. And so we create that in the space. But the observation we've made on this education agreement is that these are a lot of scientist founders, and their science is the one thing that they're rock solid on and they're pretty confident of, but they don't know how to design a logo or build a website or manage people or manage finances and all of these things that come along with starting a company. And ACC has programs in all of that. And so we've been working hard at building relationships with the other programs in the college to bring those in. And it's helped us significantly. I've hired several graphic design students. I had my first marketing student this past year that was phenomenal. We've had UI UX students. We've had business management, all of those. And so that's really how we work with students. The other picture in this slide is we bring in middle school and high school students for hands-on. We build this thing and they come in groups of 12 to 120, and we do these hands-on things. And the goal is to get people to see what kind of jobs are in this industry and get excited about the equipment and the different applications so that they start thinking early about pursuing these career choices.
Thank you. We'll move to Dr. Penlerick.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that we see with this program is it's sometimes viewed as a niche industry. And so I'll kind of give you the spiel that I give. We're recruiting high school students, and a lot of times it's more along the lines of convincing the parents that this is the right type of degree program to pursue. And what comes with that is the discussion of the career opportunities. So these are white collar, management level, executive level careers that our students are going on to pursue in the concrete industry. And one of the interesting things about it is, although it is a very specific segment of the construction industry, it is nearing $1 trillion industry worldwide. And concrete is concrete no matter where you go. And we've kind of got some general rules. This is a very local product. So the production and manufacture and delivery of concrete, we've got a rough radius of about 90 miles. So every local community in Texas and beyond, and we've got students from Texas State that have gone on and gone overseas and working in concrete plants and concrete sales overseas. So the job opportunities are always going to exist just by simply the aggregate, the sand, the rock comes from the ground. We have to mine it from where it is, and we have to produce that material where it is. So the application is worldwide, but it's all the way down to your local community. So students that want to stay in Texas, want to go home, want to have a good career and move back to West Texas, down to the Rio Grande Valley, those things are available to them with this career, where we see it's a little different with other careers. You kind of have to go where the work is, whereas it's going to be where you are. And the industry engagement that we have, I mentioned it before, because we are a licensed type of program, and there's a lot of control of the curriculum, and that control, in higher education sometimes can be looked at a little unfavorably for academic freedom. But at the same time, if you flip that thought on its head of, we are really engaging the industry. They're telling us, we want to hire your students. Here's what we need them to know. Here's the content that we want them to have. Go figure out how to best deliver it. And so it allows us to constantly update the curriculum. And I think any of us that are involved in higher education could probably be honest with ourselves and say we aren't always the fastest at adapting curriculum to new things that are happening in the industry. And with this program and the heavy level of industry involvement, we're able to do that. So we know when our students are graduating with a CIM degree from Texas State, they're out on the cutting edge of the material science and the management and business aspects of this particular segment of the industry.
Thank you. And Dr. Reeves?
Yeah, thanks. So NCTM has a number of different training programs that are available, again, focusing on all different aspects of the biomanufacturing process and the trainee's specific interests. So our beginner courses typically we call them kind of like a soup to nuts introduction to all areas of a particular workflow. So that could be recombinant proteins, again, viral vectors, mRNA, et cetera. We cover at a very high level the upstream or the production process, the downstream or the purification and formulation process, as well as all of the appropriate analytics for a particular product. There are other trainings that we do that do like more deep dives into specific unit operations that are better suited for, seasoned industry professionals or people that are looking to upskill or perhaps learn about other areas of the biomanufacturing process. The big takeaways that we provide our students with are really those hands-on experiences where those participants are actually running those real process streams here. And in addition to like all the technical training on the equipment and the processes, we're also providing quite a bit of training on how to operate in a CGMP or a current good manufacturing practice facility. So we're teaching students everything from how to gown, how to move throughout the facility, because there are written procedures for how personnel, material, waste move throughout a facility. And a lot of people don't know that when they're first new to kind of this field. And so we talk about things like unidirectional flow, or, the reason that there are specific doors that are only entrances and other doors that are only exits and how we don't interchange those. We talk about things like contamination control, both as it relates to how an operator behaves in a clean room space, as well as kind of all of the environmental monitoring that goes on, from particle counting to plating to validation that goes on, in order to classify all of those clean room spaces. And then finally, for some of our grant-funded programs that specifically target college students particularly, we also provide them some training on more soft skills, like how to use LinkedIn, how to reach out to and interact with recruiters. We provide them with kind of some mock interview help. We try to pair them up with industry mentors to help them, really prepare to enter the workforce. And while those latter skills aren't really technical per se, they're also a critical piece of, training students how to transition into jobs in the future workplace.
Great, thank you. So we're going to move into our final round of prepared questions. And this is where I'll ask our panelists, what are the benefits of your program to industry partners and or community partners? So we can hear kind of the other side. We just heard about the student benefit. So we'll move back to Antonio.
Yeah, absolutely. So our industry partners love to recruit talent and scout prospective early stage founders and deep tech opportunities from our group. Nucleate globally has collectively fundraised over $400 million across all of our global alumni founders in the last 5 years, as well as one full acquisition and 2 that are currently in negotiating progress. A lot of this funding has actually come from a direct result of their participation in the Nucleate program and exposure to the industry partners in pharmaceuticals, venture capital, and private equity. Every year, the majority of our sponsoring industry partners attend demo day events across the US, to market their companies, market their services, and ultimately identify and recruit potential talent, right? Being that it's Texas, right, you wouldn't think of us as a traditional biotech hub. So finding elite PhD, master, MD level biotech talent is a rarity, right? As companies continue to expand and look at an ecosystem and economy like ours, where there's an interest, a vested interest from the state in developing biotechnology, it's a unique value proposition that we offer for them. Ultimately, what our partners value the most is access. They want access to a talented, robust, well-trained, knowledgeable workforce of these graduate level students. And they get to host these individualized events, seminars, happy hours. In exchange for that, they get access to our talent pool. They get exchange marketing opportunities that helps them drive business from a lot of these early stage companies, many of whom actually turn into their own clients, as well as find others in the ecosystem that maybe they're not connected with yet, but through the Nucleate network, they're now finding these opportunities wherever it may be to be a partner. And I think this also extends past our more formal, financially providing partners, as we are a nonprofit, but to our informal volunteers. We have a lot of industry subject matter experts and mentors that come and donate their time and volunteer and mentor the teams. Nancy's partner at the ACC Bioscience Incubator, Shane Allen, has been a mentor for us for many years, and he loves it. Comes back every single year. And has the opportunity to engage with these, very green students that are trying to grow and build the knowledge base in the biotech sector. They're supremely engaged, and they have the opportunity to volunteer their time, advise, and a lot of them actually ultimately end up, becoming board members for some of these companies that successfully spin out and build on their success in the Nucleate program. So we have a very robust way of saying that our industry partners are very bought in from top to bottom. So.
Thank you, Antonio. Nancy.
Similarly, by providing lab space to early stage startups, we actually give them a chance to start. And the industry has been trying to grow. It's expensive. It takes a ton of real estate. It takes a ton of money. And so what we have are doing by providing this lab space is actually getting people a chance to start. And so we've had over 42 companies in here since we opened. Some of them have thanked us for saving them a ton of money and have failed fast and gotten out, which is a win in any case. Some of them have grown and moved out and built their own spaces in town. But it's all contributing to the entire ecosystem and industry, very much like Antonio just described, by having subject matter experts and other people in the industry that come and help me advise who should be in here, and helping them grow. When they come in, they check in with me. I bring in a pool of people in the community that might be where they're lacking, where this company could use some help. They're stuck on a regulatory step. I'll bring in regulatory people to help them. We also have become kind of central in the real estate developers. How do we build more space? When are we ready to build more space? Who's the pipeline? Who are the companies that are going to be needing all of these services? The accelerator services, the business services, the vendors, the real estate. And so the real estate developers come to me and they, tour the space and ask questions about what the needs are. We're really trying to build this industry up. The economic development organizations around Opportunity Austin, the chambers, they're all trying to recruit bigger companies into Austin. And those companies are going to look at Austin and see if it's where they want to be. Is there enough robust industry? What's the talent pool at UT? What's the talent pool at Texas State? What's the talent pool at A&M, ACC, all of those things. So we help industry in that way. And then Austin Community College also does all of the training for Samsung, for Tesla. When they have new people coming in, we go out to their facility and do the training. And so ACC creating partnerships, for example, if a biomanufacturing company gets recruited to Austin, they're going to be needing a similar training program. So we also serve as the sort of the connection to the life sciences industry for the college, and vice versa, the industry's connection to the college.
Great, thank you. Dr. Penlerick?
Yes, so I think the industry gets a lot of value out of this. And fundamentally, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to do right by our students. We're trying to give them a return on their investment. At the end of the day, they're paying for this education, and we want to make sure that they get that return. And it's amazing, I think, when you reach out to industry and you ask them for their opinion and their input in developing a curriculum, developing a class, when you're able to ask them what they want and then actually give them what they want and give them evidence of what they suggested is working, you start to develop this self-fulfilling prophecy of success. We've got students graduating in 2 weeks with 8, 9, 10 job offers, which speaks to the value of what we're doing here. But it also indicates that the industry is invested. They love the ideas, they love being included, and they're invested in the success and invested emotionally, and quite frankly, invested financially as well. They contribute a lot to us financially, and some of those soft skills we were talking about before. We see that the industry gives us a lot of money. They want us to bring students to them. It's much easier for us to bring a group of students to an industry conference and work on developing those soft skills and how to shake a hand and introduce yourself and have a conversation and look someone in the eyes. And they give us money to do that. And it really helps to build a better student and just speaks to the success of the program. And our students are going on to do great things. So I'm very happy with the industry involvement in what we're doing.
Thank you. Dr. Reeves?
So having industry reviewing and advising on our programs has just been completely invaluable to us. I'll give you a recent example. So a few years ago, BARDA tasked us with creating an mRNA training course, and no one on our team had experience with mRNA vaccines because it was 2022 and mRNA vaccines had just come out. So we actually partnered with Pfizer on this to bring subject matter expertise to the curriculum we were developing, and make sure that what we were teaching was really representative of real life manufacturing. So we actually had partners from 6 different Pfizer sites across the globe advising on all different parts of the process. And it was really phenomenal because it, again, made sure that the training program we were developing was going to be useful to other people in the industry and other people that were manufacturing mRNA. So in addition to Pfizer, we actually partnered with Precision Nanosystems. They were experts in lipid nanoparticle delivery systems, partnered with a company called Quantum for expertise on large-scale automation for mRNA production, as well as a number of different other kind of service providers that helped with things like cold chain management and logistics. That were also kind of important to the mRNA vaccine process that we didn't necessarily have in-house expertise on. In return, I think, I like to think that our programs are also helping industry. Ultimately, again, like the others, we're all trying to feed the biomanufacturing talent pipeline with just people that have, a solid foundation for what is GMP and a basic understanding of the processes that we're running kind of from end to end. Another few things that we're doing here at NCTM specifically, we're running training programs targeting, well-suited individuals for potential careers in biomanufacturing. So one example of those are military veterans. We like to say that no one follows an SOP like a veteran. And they're just like a really great pool of talent that, with the appropriate amount of reskilling or upskilling can be transitioned into well-paying jobs after their time in the service. We're also running a program called Neuropipes, which is an autism serving training program where, again, we're trying to tap into a historically underutilized talent pool and upskill these individuals that are loyal, they thrive on routine, and they also follow instructions to a T, which, is a really important trait to have when you're working in a really highly regulated industry. And then the last thing that we're doing is actually a statewide Texas-based initiative called TRIBEC, which is aiming to harmonize all the biomanufacturing training programs across community colleges and universities all over the state in order to really strengthen the talent pipeline here to support our industry partners and then also to recruit additional industry to the region. So I guess all in all, I like to think that our close relationship with industry is so important. And, without the industry's input, it's going to be impossible for us to succeed. And, the training programs that we're creating are only relevant because of the industry input. And so we like to really try to maintain those relationships and cultivate those. And again, that two-way relationship is really, really important.